I just wanted to take a second to address all of you and tell you how excited we are to be here with all of you today. For everybody here, for all the talent that came before the talent that are here, you all put your heart, your soul, your passion on the line, your blood, sweat, your tears to get us to where we are today. I want to make sure that everybody understands that we're not here to change this. We're not here to take this over. We're not here to make it something different. We're here to do this with you, to enhance what you do, and to make it grow.
Boom. Oh, he's such a mark for himself. They're just going to invade. Haha, NXT Mexico. You're going to... we're crying.
This guy's Tony Khan.
Where's Meltzer? We're having a meltdown.
Oh, my God. It's the greatest thing I've ever seen.
He's just like, we're not trying to do differently. Just do your thing. Yeah, man, people got to understand, like, AAA was doing numbers before WWE stepped in, man.
Beyond anybody's wildest expectations. Let's take this tonight and build on it from here. All of you guys have been doing it. Now we're going to do it together. So let's turn this into the biggest thing we can possibly think of. Let's all dream big and go work to make it everything we want it to be. All right? Starting tonight. Thank you all very much.
And think about all the extra eyeballs from the WWE YouTube. And this is like their WrestleMania show, Triple Mania. So let's hit a banjo and get into some TNA news. So TNA is open to shifting to Wednesday nights to go head-to-head with AEW Dynamite. There have been discussions for the company to move to a WWE-associated network as well. So that would mean like the CW, and people have been leaning towards the CW and A&E for a long time. Now, all that Alba reported is Alba just can't wait. Oh, multiple sources tell me that TNA's explored the possibility of moving. All the dirt sheets run with this. See? Head to head. Imagine if they go head to head. It's just like, you guys, they said that they've explored the possibility of moving to, hey, I've explored the possibility of moving to Mars. I Googled it. Like, yeah, they're open to moving to Monday if that's what the network wants. Like, they're open to anything. They want Thursday, okay? And it would be ideal for them because this whole resurgence they've had, or emergence, shout that out from last night, it's taken place on Thursday. But am I here for a wrestling war? Oh, hell yeah. But in my opinion, people are like, NFL. It's like, no, that's an excuse for WWE, because it's like the mainstream wrestling show. For these other wrestling shows, man, I would just compete with NFL for a few months on Thursday. It's smarter, and just own your own night, and then have your own night where you could potentially do, like, you're just stealing from the pool of like sickos at that point on Wednesday. It's not like they're going to start doing 1 million viewers, and it's not like you're going to grow competing with AEW unless like the competition gets so fierce. But it's just like, I just don't know if that's the move. But if they do that, I'm here for that, Eric. But I think we're going to get the Thursday Night Wars, Collision versus TNA on Thursday. That's just my opinion, because it seems like Collision is creeping on that Thursday day as well. But by Bound for Glory, we'll know all this. We'll know everything they're thinking. And after I watched Emergence, it's pretty much, you know, nothing changed too much in TNA. We'll talk about that in a moment. But I think Bound for Glory is going to be like, we announced the TV deal, and TNA reclaims all their belts and all this, the new era, and we make all these stars, and they're doing such a good job like building up Leon Slater, and so they're doing lots of good stuff in TNA. But Switchblade says if this gets TNA on CW, this is the smartest thing they can do. TNA offering to be the hired hitman for WWE and do their dirty work. They should move to Wednesday to get on CW, because AEW has clearly been toying with the idea of Collision on Thursday head-to-head with TNA. So, yeah, move. Well, he's saying move to Wednesday and go head-to-head with Dynamite, or just duke it out with Collision. Just duke it out with Collision. And then if they get canceled by proxy, if Collision gets canceled the way Rampage did, just by proxy of, hey, WBD's splitting up into two companies, and the optics are we took out Collision. but they're not going to take out Dynamite. Like Tony will give every penny in his bank to keep Dynamite alive. So it's not like that's ever going to go anywhere. I'm telling you right now, he will buy his own like TV network or some shit. He will buy his own station, or he'll fucking stream it on some stream. He'll fucking Twitch stream it before it goes anywhere. Okay. Jimmy Uso was emotional talking about Naomi going to TNA as Trinity Fatu. Look at this building for Triple Mania.
Like I could have been, you know, with my time at least just being around there a lot more, because we were on different schedules, and my schedule picked up tremendously. And, you know, I was having fun, probably the best fun I've had in my whole career, because now I'm really with my brothers, really doing it. But then also this happens. So I watched it. I learned a lot from her growth, like the courage to step away and like to watch.
Yeah, it was awesome. We agree. So John Alba, we covered that. I'm not going to roast him. There are unconfirmed rumors that Lorenzo Fertitta could be buying TNA. That's a good thing. And he would just be putting the money up and letting someone else run it. In my opinion, that's a goddamn good thing. He used to own UFC before it was sold and put under the TKO umbrella. Him and his brother did. This rumor emerges, and he saved the UFC, by the way. This rumor emerges after John Alba reported for SI, blah, blah, blah. So good. I hope the Fertitta brothers invest in pro wrestling, and they have a vested interest in Endeavor and TKO and blah, blah, blah. So just makes sense. So this guy reported that you follow the money, then follow the exit. So behind the scenes sources suggest this funding was positioned to prepare TNA wrestling for deeper integration with WWE. Okay, so basically people are theorizing that about this clause and also about the Fertittas, and like buried within the WWE TNA agreement is a 60-day termination clause. So WWE can terminate. So no one's talking about this, but WWE can say, hey, 60 days, we can terminate this clause, this fucking exchange, right? So that gives us 2 months to wrap up storylines and shit. But for WWE, it is a sword at their hip. If the deal loses value or TNA becomes a burden, WWE can walk away without consequence. No buyout, no penalty. See, I think that's more what it is. Not Dave's like, they want to block out everyone else and monopolize again. Why is it okay if Tony monopolizes? And that's the problem. We have two companies, so it's just like when two companies monopolize and it's just 50-50 and everyone else is like, what the fuck? Then what is that? Isn't that still a monopoly? Why is that okay? It's just so dumb. So yeah, no one's really talking about that except us here at PWT. So TNA sources have claimed the higher ups say they're not expecting to move to Wednesdays. It's worth noting both SRS and John Alba reached out to Carlos Silva, who wouldn't deny things per Fightful. So boom. TNA sources, they claim they're not expecting to move to Wednesdays, but they're open to it. Like, they're going to fucking Thursday if they can help it, man. I'm telling you, this whole debate, just people go crazy with this shit. This contract signing as well. So they signed Xia Li to like a long-term. They're like, we are looking forward to doing business with you for a long time. And Anthem always snipes me, but yeah, they presented her with a contract. She was crying and shit. They signed her. And they're like, we are looking forward to having you here for a while. So I think TNA's stepping into doing long-term deals with people they can position as their people. And Xia Li's someone to get behind for sure. One of the most underrated people, I think, on WWE's roster. Sami Callihan lost to Mike Santana and had to retire from pro wrestling. So people didn't really care, I felt like. But Sami Callihan passing a torch or like giving his retirement to Santana is the way to do it. That's just what you do, right? Some people would consider Sami Callihan a TNA legend. He's been a world champion for them and stuff. And Santana's a future guy. And I said it, dude, just put Santana over everyone. Kazarian, all these guys that are leaving. I also thought Jake something should have won. I feel like he loses every big match. And I just thought, I was like, put the international title on him. Oh, like, what's his name? Fucking paints his face with the Punisher logo. I don't give a fuck. Put it on Jake something, dude. And so shout out Sami Callihan. And our last bit of news, Capaldi. You guys know this Capaldi singer gentleman. and he believes in Joe.
I wrote that song, I believe in Joe. I believe, and I do believe in Joe Hendry. I want to make that 100% clear. Yeah, it's a Capaldi dong, unfortunately. I'm gutted. Yeah, because that song that was like #1 in the iTunes chart. Or something. Yeah, he's flying. Yeah, I'm a big fan. I like the wrestling. Yeah. So I love Joe Hendry. He's great. He's brilliant. So, but unfortunately, no, I didn't have a hand in writing. I believe in Joe Hendry, but I do believe.
You do believe?
I believe.
And it's a job he might do, you know, the sequel.
I'm so keen. I'm so keen. Joe Hendry, reach out.
Jesus. Holy fuck, man. That's like one of the biggest artists in the world right now, isn't that kid? Doesn't he have like a huge single or two? Let's do a little miscellaneous news, ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm afraid I've got some bad news.
So former WWE stars Karrion, Kross, and Scarlett have been announced for the big event EXS on November 15. Major guest announcement, TikTok, the countdown is on. So they are there at Entertainment Export and Sports Expo or whatever the fuck. So congrats to them. Get ready. They announced some other shit going on here. They're going to be at Mad Monster Expo, Silver Scream Con, New York Comic Con, Scaradise. So they're not doing any fucking wrestling promotions. And they're called the Killer Smoke Show convention dates. Shout out Killer Kelly and Goat who do the Killer Goat Show and have the Killer Goat tour that they were good. That's copyright infringement. That's gimmick infringement, brother. But yeah, they're doing a fucking tour of like cons, man, for like horror movies and shit. They're not doing like wrestling dates yet. So, hey, man, the door's still open. He can go back to WWE. He just probably fucked himself out of a lot of money, if I had to guess. If the things that I think are true. Again, I'm just a dumb fuck on the internet who speculates on this shit. So TMZ presents the Real Hulk Hogan 1 hour special. It did 1 point whatever the fuck 4. Is that a 1.4? Would 1.4 would have to be 1.400, right? So it did a 1.004. It did 1 million viewers, okay, according to Programming Insider. So that's crazy. It outdrew like most wrestling companies. Hogan's doc did. Real American Freestyle. They sold like 2,000 tickets for their event. So Dave Meltzer had to stop bullying Eric Bischoff and Hogan because Hogan passed away. And then he went, well, I don't know if it's bullying, but just talking shit about. Now he's talking shit about Conan and made himself look incredibly stupid. If you guys didn't listen to the last show, Dave Meltzer fantasy marked book Conan getting fired because he listened to the internet about Conan not being on this Triple A show. As the commentator, and he is. So here is Lacey Lane. So Kaden Carter. This, again, I don't get paid by fucking DraftKings, but this is the first thing I've seen her do since she's been released from WWE or her contract expired. And it's just like one of these sign with my DraftKings sportsbook partnership deals or whatever the fuck. So shout her out, but I don't know, man. And then Casey Catanzaro is doing like the Ninja Warrior, and I don't think she's going to get involved in wrestling probably either unless it's with a big company. Filthy Tom Lawlor is getting his hip replaced, which good for him. And that's got to be shitty. But yeah, he's getting his hip replaced. That looks nasty. Speaking of health updates, Perry Saturn gives a health update after his total hip replacement for his right side.
Hey man, check it out. I made it through surgery. I'm alive still. Very impressed with my doctor. He was awesome. Bedside manner, the surgery, just everything was awesome. Ian was here saving my life, like he always does. Vindication. The doctor was blown away at the poor condition of my hips and has no idea how I was even walking around at all. So at least now, when I tell somebody I'm in pain, they know I'm in pain. But yeah, so we're getting there. We got a ways to go, but step 1 done, right?
So now, wasn't this guy like the big killer dude? What was his name? Mil Muertes or whatever in Lucha Underground? Isn't that him, or am I wrong? That guy fucking rules. So Meltzer says that one person involved in independent wrestling brought up that Karrion, Kross, and Scarlett are charging a very high price tag, and after the conversation said that they weren't buying any of this regarding the WWE departure. So basically, yeah, I'm not actually signed. Hey, we'll offer you this much. Oh, I priced myself out. I know you're not going to give me this much because I'm actually going to be back in WWE. Could totally see it happening. CMLL is close to selling out tonight. Let's say 16,000. This was yesterday. CMLL is close to a sellout tomorrow. About 7,000 they're doing tonight as well. AAA's ticket map shows 10 tickets left. They'll be at around, they did 19,000. So around 42,000 tickets over 2 days. Not WWE numbers, still pretty good for anywhere else. That's crazy. It's a fucking hot lucha summer. So we saw Omos wreck shit in Mexico. Here's Odyssey Jones wrecking shit in All Japan Pro Wrestling. Which has fallen off since its heyday. God damn, not trying to shit on them, but... So Odyssey Jones doing his thing, man. Here is, speaking of Japanese wrestling, here is Kenta being sandbagged by his opponent here brutally in Noah. Like, there's nothing else other than sandbagging. And Paul London called out Kenta for having a shitty attitude, and he was like, I think he's a fake tough guy. And if I was going to do one of those GCW blood sport work shoot matches, I think it would be Kenta. I think he's just a bitch. Like, I don't think, like, you do kicks, cool. Paul London was shooting, and it didn't build to a match. It didn't build to anything. He was just talking about working with him in MLW. Then you see a guy just blatantly sandbagging him. I'm not trying to shit on Kenta, but hey, man, I'm not going to shit on this guy either entirely, because who knows how Kenta's been backstage. Like, a lot of people, well, I don't want to say a lot of people, but those in the know, it's floated around that he's, you know, he's just rubbed some people the wrong way. Some people just love him to death, but some people he just rubs the wrong way, you know?
Again. Go to sleep. That's a third. He's not done there. He wants to completely finish him off.
Sandbags him again. Oh my God, like sandbagged him again. How? Well, because you got to flop your body over his head a bit, but he's just making him like, no, get me over your head then. Gorilla press me over your head. You can tell that's what's going on. Devon Dudley buried the hatchet with Dixie Carter at Hulk Hogan's funeral, so that's good. Speaking of Japanese wrestling, these guys are wrestling on a mat in a parking lot in front of nearly no one. And still, Kazuki Hashimoto headbutts this guy so hard, even the web camera picks the noise up and then hits the most perfect Death Valley driver the world has seen. Man, that's not good to headbutt a guy that hard in a fucking parking lot on a tarp. There's... Oh my God, listen to that grotesque shoot headbutt in a parking lot in front of nobody, but literally. Not like in the joking way, but like in the literal sense. I'm sure there's an AEW will be doing this in 10 years joke somewhere that some of you might have. You guys can go ahead and run with it. What a grotesque headbutt. Yeah, go back. God damn, man. Yeah, Moxley's gonna go wrestle there next. God damn, you know what they say?
Wrestling's not fake!
Yeah, this match is going pretty hard here, too, at this AAA. So here's Superhuman doing some fuck shit on a GCW show with his ass crack sticking out like a gross fucking... I don't know, man. I don't get the Superhuman thing. That shit got played out to me a long time ago. But hey, I guess he's a draw. It's that JCW, GCW crossover.
What did he say? Oh, this shit.
And who's that? Joey Janela wrestling him? Of course it is. Of course it fucking is. And of course his whole thing is, let me say this punchline, fuck this shit, and then he doesn't even get to say it because the audio is all fucked up. I'll switch back over to the... I am locked in for this fucking match, though, dude, as I'm reading this news off. But one video, man, we talked about it before. Mark Calloway, the Undertaker, dude, he ditched his... I didn't realize. I thought he had his own pod, and then I thought he had the Fanatics version of his pod. No. They fucking just axed the one and let WWE take the other one over. Now it's a less good version, a far less... It's an inferior fucking version of the original pod that Undertaker had. And his former podcast partner, Matt, recalls what happened. He got slimed, man. He did get fucking slimed. I'm just being honest. But he's a good sport about it. And he doesn't hate on Undertaker by any means. And it is just business. But yeah, he did get slimed.
Oh, you were no longer going to be a co-host of 6 Feet Under. How'd it happen?
So we just got done filming one of my heroes in the sport, Jake the Snake Roberts and Diamond Dallas Page, who I've been friends with for a while. And they came in, we filmed, you know, we batch shoot. The last episode that we shot that day was me and Mark talking. Yeah. And which was going to be the first episode of that kind of group that would go out. Yeah. So we do that, we get done. I do what I always do. And how's everything going? How's the wife, kids, all that stuff? How's the home? And he goes, I really want to talk to you about some stuff. I was like, okay. I thought that he was about to tell me I'm done. You know,
thought he was going to quit altogether.
Yeah,
which is too much.
I thought he was just going to be like, hey man, LFG, everything else. I'm done.
Yeah.
You know, I'm too much on my plate. He's like, hey, you know, the podcast is going to be taken over by WWE and all. That's what, you know, we're going to move in that direction.
So this was news to you?
Yeah.
You had no clue.
No clue at that point. No, I was like, so I'm assuming that this is the end of my run on this. And he goes, yeah, unfortunately. I was like,
but wait a minute, you're part owner.
Well, defending Undertaker, though, you don't want to tell him before you record the shows and then have shitty energy.
I was like,
but wait a minute, you're part owner.
Now this part's fucked. Maven's like, but you're part owner. Now listen to this answer.
Correct?
No, yes. I mean, yeah.
Fair enough.
So no. Why not?
Fair enough.
Because at the end of the day, he's still my friend.
Yeah.
And, you know, we're
and nothing's going to change that.
Absolutely not. Not on my end, anyway. I mean,
I hate the guy for what he did to you. No, I'm kidding.
Him dumping me as a friend is fine on his.
He
end.
better never call me. No,
it's actually an upgrade for him, right? To get rid of me. He and I talked for a little bit more. I go outside with him. He's at his truck. He just looked at me and he goes, "We good?" I said, "Mark," I said, "We said something a long time ago. We were at a hotel here in Savannah, and we shook hands and we said, if money ever comes in between us, we're going to shut the whole thing down.
Yeah,
we're going to go to the woods and we're going to go hunting, and that's it. And we'll forget about all of it." And I was like, "Dude," I said, "there's nothing business wise that on my end would ever come between you and I." I was like, "It's a podcast, man."
And it was probably weighing on him, knowing the relationship he has with you, that he had to break that news to you.
Mark kept the show going probably 6 to 8 months longer than he wanted to if I was a betting man.
Really?
Because of me.
Yeah.
He said yes.
What? So he kept the show 6 months longer because of me. What? So he'd have ditched you to just go with his wife? He's still doing the show just without you, dude.
A lot of things that he probably would have said no to other people.
Here's the thing, though. Taker's just got to do what's right for him. And if you guys hear this whole like half-hour sit-down they do, the way they met is this is some random guy who worked for – they're like lifelong friends. This guy worked for some apparel company that they saw a picture of Undertaker wearing the apparel. He reached out to Undertaker. They broed down, and they go hunting together. They're still cool. They're still friends. Ultimately, like, you know, I get it. And yeah, it's what he said. Like, the podcast shouldn't get in between their friendship and shit. It's just not worth it, you know? So Matt Riddle did an interview and he made a bunch of headlines. Some people are roasting him. They're like, he's just trying to stay relevant. I think he's trying to work people's interest, work his way into people being interested in him coming back to WWE possibly, or possibly like even a shoot match. Like I guarantee, I don't know why actually Riddle hasn't tried to get one of those like Logan Paul fucking influencer boxing matches, get on one of those cards or whatever. Although he is more of a grappler. He does got hands, but he just said that Punk's better days are behind him. He also says Bill Goldberg's dangerous and a liability in the ring. When it's like, how would you know? He wouldn't even wrestle you. Roman Reigns took issue with Matt Riddle's street fight claim. And now go figure, Roman Reigns is in the fucking Street Fighter movie. No, not that Street Fighter, but he said, I noticed this even with Bill Goldberg and certain people I rubbed the wrong way. Even Roman Reigns at one point, I rubbed the wrong way. They get really angry when you spit facts. No, bro, it's just that they understand you can beat everyone up. You don't need to fucking walk around and say it to everyone. It's just etiquette, man. There's etiquette to certain things in life. So if I say you're hard to work with and you can't fight, CM Punk gets really mad, right? If I say Goldberg, you're a terrible wrestler and you injured people, he gets mad. Yeah, it's just called being professional, bro. Hey, Tom Cruise, you're a Scientologist and people accuse you of having people murdered. Have you seen the Leah Remini docs? Director, yell action. I'm fucking Simon Pegg. Hey, Tom Cruise, you have people murdered on behalf of Scientology, right? And you're gay, according to some, right? How's your ex-wife? Anyways, director. Oh, we, like, what the fuck, bro? Matt Riddle, you're cooked, homie. He says, Roman, they asked me to talk crap about Roman. I told everybody, hey, he might beat me in the ring, but if we were in the cage or the street, I'd beat the hell out of him. Okay, and if he rolled up with 10 Samoans, are you going to beat the hell out of all of them? And then if you rock up with fucking 4 dudes with guns, are they going to beat you guys? Like, that's just stupid. You're pro wrestlers. Shut up. But from what I've noticed, and it's crazy because we're in this world of sports entertainment, but a lot of people get really angry and really uncomfortable with the truth, and especially fans as well. I'll say this. He is right about like wrestlers' egos and shit being out of whack and a lot of that fake tough guy bullshit. But at the same time, it's like no one cares, Matt. Everyone knows. We all know this. But Riddle had this to say about Punk. We have an actual video clip, and he says that, well, let's just have him talk and say it. This is courtesy of TMZ.
Said that CM Punk, quote, was a bitch to work with backstage. Would you like to retract that statement whatsoever?
I have good friends on the roster that still say he's a bitch to work with.
Oh,
if he didn't generate the amount of money and attention that he does, he wouldn't be there. And kudos to him. I just don't think he's good at fighting. I think his better days of wrestling are way behind him, and that's not a knock. I'll tell you this: I'm not getting that much better or faster or stronger, and I can tell you he's definitely not either, especially with all the botches, That's okay. But
damn.
And the thing is, I've noticed this even with Bill Goldberg and certain people I've rubbed the wrong way. Even Roman Reigns at one point I rubbed the wrong way. They get really angry when you spit facts.
It's just so dumb because okay then, Riddle, go be an MMA fighter then. You guys all know what you signed up for. So go be a real fighter or shut up because you're a pro wrestler. That's the way I look at it. Now, Matt Riddle would fucking wreck CM Punk in a fight, in an MMA fight. In pro wrestling, Punk would wrestle circles around him psychologically on every level. So this last clip from Matt Riddle, he talks about Shane McMahon and confirms the stories about Shane McMahon asking Brock Lesnar if Shane could pick him up for a spot at the Royal Rumble in 2022. And we were all like, what are you thinking, dude? So Riddle confirms the fucking stories that we all knew were true. But yeah, Brock was like, fuck nah.
Brock, I remember being in that locker room because there's a bunch of people, Shane McMahon, a bunch of people were there. We had different ideas and plans. And he came in and was like, I just did business for Bobby Lashley. You guys are all going to do business for me.
My gosh.
Yeah.
So unfair.
He said, what? You guys are all going to do business for me? God damn, Shane.
Bobby Lashley, you guys are all going to do business for me.
My gosh.
Yeah.
So unfair.
And then Shane McMahon mentioned and asked if he could pick him up for a spot. And Brock just looked at him like, no. And we were all like, what are you thinking, dude? Like,
even TMZ's like inside the ring. This is how hot wrestling's getting. Everybody's jumping on. Ariel Hawani's like, fuck MMA. I'm half wrestling now. There's a reason for that.
They pick Brock up, but I'm not going to because
you can pick Brock up.
Brock, I can pick anybody up, bro. I deadlift German suplex Keith Lee. He's like 350, bro. I'm strong. I might not look it, but I pound for pound, crazy strong.
I can't pick up my girlfriend, and she's 100 pounds.
That's hot.
That's
hot. Yeah, dude. Fuck yeah. Hey, I'm not shitting on Riddle. I would party with him. I'd hang out with him. I think he's a chill dude. Like, in my opinion, I don't know. I don't know him personally, and he just, I don't know. He pops me. I thought he was hilarious. When I watched his season of The Ultimate Fighter, he was my favorite guy on that show. He got a brutally devastating knockout there. He hasn't had any bad losses. It's just he couldn't stop smoking weed, and now weed's allowed in UFC. But realistically, he would have had a way longer and better. He could have been a top contender, in my opinion, in MMA. No questions asked about that. But yeah, he's just a totally gnarly stoner dude. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was miscellaneous news for the evening.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm afraid I've got some bad news.